Steve and I started jamming, I'm guessing around 2012 to maybe 2011, something like that. I guess we would have our regular sessions, playing the heavy metal stuff. And then after practice or whatnot, he would start strumming and I would take note. I would be like, wow, that's cool stuff. And next thing I know, Steve's got an avalanche of riffs. It's like unbelievable.
I mean, Philip, when we first met, he started playing me these songs and showing them to me. Had all these old cassettes he had made when he was living in Texas. He started playing them for me. I'm like, man, these are killer. We need to do something with this. And it was like during the height of Pantera days, so he didn't really think anybody was going to dig it. He's like, got to find the right players. And we'd get together and talk, like, man, we got to do something with that. But nothing ever happened. And enter Steve Taylor, and he opened up the door.
Late one night after the session and packing up and started strumming a few chords, and you know, Philip was like, get in there and get that going. So that opened up, you know, his ear to some of the stuff I had, which we were still kind of building a friendship and confidence and stuff, and that's where the doors opened up, and we just kind of snowballed into what we have now.
We would get together and jam some of these songs. I would teach him stuff, and we had a couple very creative moments, but it didn't get real till we started jamming. We were just ping-ponging off of each other. You had a part, and rhythmically, you know, I would come up with something that would counter your part, and then everybody down the line just started adding their parts.
It was such a writing storm that there's almost a whole nother album that didn't make it on the album.
We've got at least 3 records, and easy.
I met Steve doing an electrical job, and he recognized me from playing in another band in the Houston area, and asked what I had been doing. I showed him some music I'd been working on, sent me some tracks to see what I could do on it, and it just progressed from there.
In Minor encapsulates a lot of the different aspects of the things I have done so far, including, you know, hard rock and, you know, theatrical, cinematic stuff, orchestral music, various types of classical and new modern classical.
And Minor is definitely more orchestrated than playing riffs, and especially in some of the metal bands that I play in with Philip.
We both like the same kind of music too in this type of genre. We both come from the same place, same influences.
Layers and layers of these beautiful elements that just the way Philip sees things is very dark, and it's very ambient, and it just sets this really, really different mood. And it's just absolutely a blast for me to be able to be with these talented dudes up here, just trying to play this very, very unique music.
It's grown from, you know, me and him to this, you know, almost orchestral size, you know, ensemble we have going here.
Yeah, man.
These songs have like a loose feeling to them, and
There's an openness about them.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I agree with that.
It's fun. It's really cool.
There's a wider range of people I would invite to listen to this band. Most of the things I do are pretty kind of, you know, aggressive and loud, and you know, that's what I like. But you know, this band I would be like, hey, you should really check this out to a wider audience. So I kind of dig that. It's more accessible.
As far as the music itself that we do, it's so, you know, sort of theatrical that it just fits. And so it took us a little while to get comfortable, but we did get comfortable. And we're glad to be here. I know all of us are, you know.
One of the stagehands was just telling me a little bit of the history here, and I think they said we're coming up on a 100-year anniversary, I believe, on the building. And he was telling me about the vaudeville circuit and how the Marx Brothers played here. So to do this in this building right now is to share the stage with those guys that have shared it in the past, you know.
In Minor really suits the vibration of the Orpheum Theater, very, very much so. Not only because of the place itself and you know, the era which it was built, but it's downtown New Orleans, Louisiana. This is Philip's hometown. You know, he's got deep roots here. We just learned recently that his great-grandfather performed here.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Presumably in the 20s.
I didn't know till a couple days ago. We were rehearsing. Actually, we were filming, and my mother was watching the program, and she told me, she was like, I saw my grandfather play here, and that you know, I'd always heard a lot about my grandfather, but I never really knew that particular thing. I think it's cool. I think it's atavism at its finest. I think, hey, I'm honored.